welcome to this quick, brief presentation on LED lighting. I just want to give you some tips and advice on what to do if you are going to go ahead with LED lighting. Who am I? My name is Joseph Stewart. I'm the LED Lighting Development Manager for Lumina and also for Laser. I joined in 2013, last June. But I've worked in the lighting industry for over 30 years, working in various jobs in different sectors. I've managed and developed bespoke LED projects for both public and private sector customers. And I've previously worked with Balfour Beatty, Delmatic, Lutron and Set Square, and to name a few extras. I started off as a fully qualified approved electrician, installing all types of lights and how to control them. And I've project managed quite a few big contracts. One of them was 5.2 million, and that was floating submersible platform for Trident Submarine, so I was involved in doing the lights for that. Who are Lumina Energy? We're wholly owned by Kent County Council, and we have a wide range of private and public sector customers. We're a sister company to Laser Energy Buying Group, a leading UK energy procurement and management company. We have an energy buying group for over 140 local authorities and serving 65,000 end users within the public sector. And we're managing energy contracts in excess of 400 million. And so far, we're providing an average saving of 70% per LED project. That's just for your lights alone. And I've saved over so far, in the year and a half I've been there, 10 tonnes of CO2. And we're still saving. I have an in-house LED team that handle the whole process from site survey, the initial site survey, initial visit, through to installation management. Current projects is Swadeland Secondary School. That's got about 9 buildings in the one area. Lackfield Leisure Centre and Denton's Law Firm. So, key benefits of LED lighting. You get a reduced electricity bill, reduced CO2, reduced maintenance cost, less relamping. Typical life of a LED is 50,000 hours compared to 20,000 hours to a fluorescent tube. The product is 100% recyclable, and it uses 70% less electricity than equivalent tungsten halogen. Tungsten halogen, if you think on it, only 6% of that lamp is light. The rest is just all heat and energy waste. So if you think on the LED lights now, you're getting at least 80% of that is now light. The technology has moved on so much it's become very economical, so it makes it very interesting for people who want to do projects to change things to LED lights. Okay, my buying guide, things to think about. One word I'll have to say to everybody is quality. Please listen to quality. Buy the best you can afford. I can't emphasise this enough. Quality is the key issue for LED lights. Warranties, if anybody offers you anything under 3 years, stay clear. 5 years, if you get offered a 5-year contract, that's even better. That's the key when you're looking forward to 5 years. Good practice, ask for working samples. Now, if somebody comes to show you their LED samples and show you, this is my lights, and you ask them to plug it in, and he says, oh, I'm sorry, it's not wired up. That's a slight example of what their attitude is going to be like to the whole project. If they can't turn up for a working sample, what's their approach going to be like to your support and your project that you're doing? Trust, another key word. Deal with people you know or have been recommended. If you plan to try someone new or try someone you haven't heard of before, research their previous projects and ask for feedback from the customers who have used them. Treat LEDs very cautiously because you have to get it right. Because once you install it, you have to look at it every day. So that's the key issue. Certificates and documents, make sure all the products are tested. The best way is to have them independently tested and all the relevant certificates produced, your CE, IP rated, photometric data, etc. Always ask for information, because then it starts to flush out the people who are trying to bluff it or cheap products. This helps you be in a strong position. What should be offered by your lighting provider? Free survey, free advice. Should give you free advice all the time. Phone them up, email, whatever. That should be free at all times. Warranties. Now, this is an interesting one. You've got your products and your installation. Be aware there may be a difference. If somebody offers you a 5-year warranty on your LED lighting, and then the guys install it for you, they might only offer you a year's warranty on their installation. So you've got to think down the line, 2-3 years down the line, if a light fails, how are you going to get that light changed? How are you going to change it? So if you can get your installation guys to match the warranty of the LED light, it should be fine, because then if the light fails, they'll come in, take it down, replace it with a new one. If they don't match it, you have to think ahead, right, how am I going to get this light down? How am I going to get it replaced? You have to think of all this advance so you can fund for it and cater for it. Once you get the guys in to look at your building, they should give you a quotation, which should be supplied with all the details you need to build your business case study. So it should be easy to follow, it should show all the savings you're going to make, and your paybacks, your return on investment should be clearly listed in all the quotes. And then also provide the information for the guys as well, so you can work out exactly how many hours a day your lights are used for, so everything all balances out. Project management, you should have that from the initial visit, design, straight through to installation. And also you should have a before and after sales support. Even though the job's all finished, you still want the guys to come in to visit the job to make sure you're happy, go through all the issues with you, get all the snag list done, and then pay the bill. Ownership, it should only be one point of contact throughout the project, one person to make your life easy. So you don't have to phone the manufacturer, don't have to phone the installer, don't have to phone the provider, just make one phone call and let that person resolve all your issues for your project. How should your LEDs be installed? Once you've had your initial survey and you've got your quotation in front of you, they should then come back to an intrusive survey. Make sure your cable's up to date. Make sure your ceiling is going to be able to support the fittings you're going to install. All this should be checked before you start. Because nothing worse than the first day you turn up to do the job and the contractors tell you, I can't fit it into the ceiling, or I need more money to resolve this. All that should be resolved before you start the project. So on the first day you start, you know what's going to happen. Before you start the project, your LED fittings are demonstrated. You pick the ones you like, and you also select the colour temperature you like. There's 3 types you can pick. There's warm white, cool white, and daylight. So you pick the one you like, test it, select it. Select a test area, have all your lights put into the test area, let that run for a couple of weeks to get feedback. So once you're happy with everything you've got, then you can go ahead with the complete installation. The reason for this, if you do a test area first, it cuts down on the negative feedback from people, because nobody likes change. Nobody likes to change the look of their area. So if you do a test area first, you get everybody on board with you. Because if you change it all at once, you're going to get so many complaints. I'm not happy, it's too bright, I don't like the colour, I don't like this. Whereas if you do a small area first, you get less complaints. Once you agree what you're going to do, what lights you want, what colour temperature you want, agree the dates and access times for a complete project. So you might only have access at night time, you might be able to do back shift, or you might be able to do day shift. You just agree that all this in advance. Communication. This is needed throughout the project. So many times we've started to do a project and the customer says, I didn't think that was the lights I picked, or I thought it was going to be a different colour. Keep talking, keep asking, keep challenging, keep saying, are you sure this is what we're going to get? Can I see it? Can I check? Ask for 6 samples, 7 samples, just keep doing it. Be a pest, and you'll get the project done correctly. Now, once it's completed, any necessary adjustments will be made. Get them back in. I want it repositioned. I want the light over here. It's too bright. It's not right. Just keep getting them back. Only when you're satisfied, sign it off. Only until you're completely satisfied. Please only then sign it off. Contact, yet again, one point of contact once you've finished the job. So you can only make one phone call. So you don't have this phoning people, get fobbed off, get changed. Speak to the installer, speak to the manufacturer, speak to the supplier. Just a one point of contact. Makes your life a lot easier. Okay, give you a small example of a saving. 50 watt halogen downlighter, the small round ones you see in a lot of receptions. If you have 50 of them, gives you 10,000 kilowatt hours. Change that to 6 watt LED lamp or fitting, you have a choice. You reduce it to 1200 kilowatts. The saving is 8,800. Now it gives you 88% energy saving, so it gives you £880 per year. Now if you just change the lamps only, a lot of people like to just keep the lamp as it is, the fitting, take the lamp out and put an LED lamp in, and based it on a £10 lamp. This is a good quality Philips lamp. It'll give you a 6 months payback. If you put a whole new fitting in, a lot of people like to change everything. £37 per fitting, that's a good quality downlighter, and the installation cost gives you a 2 years payback. So you can see the difference. So it's down to yourself to choose what you like, a whole new fitting or just change the lamps. All depends on your budget and what you can afford. But still buy good quality lights so you can get a good project. Examples of savings: Canterbury Christchurch University, we've done several areas in different buildings. We managed to get a 72% reduction on the lighting, and we saved them £34,000 a year, and we got 3 years payback. Maidstone Grammar, on the school, it's a case study over there. This was just LED tubes, just replace the old lamps out and put the new tubes in. And we still managed to get a 73% reduction. Saved them £18,000 a year, and it's a 4-year payback. Okay, case study, Churchill Primary School. I've got 3 lines here, and it's over 3 years. The blue line is the first year of normal lighting. Second one, the red one in the middle, that's when the year we put the LED lighting in. And then in 2014, the school was up and running. You can see the difference, it just keeps dropping and dropping. And what's happened is, with the LED lighting and with the money they're saving, the school's getting more and more responsible for their lighting. So they're actually switching the lights off even more. So you can see there that it's dropping down every year. So what we're going to do next year is actually put sensors in to get that down even more, constantly saving energy. So this school has really taken on board how to save energy. I think it's quite a good example of the amount of energy you can save by installing LED lights. Okay, Churchill Primary School, the savings to £1,200 a year. This is a small school, 6 classrooms, so it's quite a small school, but we managed to get them £1,200 a year. Lux levels were increased from 190 to 330. You'll see a picture of it before and after. This will explain all this for you. What happened is, with the improvement of the lighting in all the areas, they started to use unusable areas and created it into usable areas. So there's one area, there's 2 classrooms, and there's a adjoining area, which they just used as a small cloakroom. They then changed that into a small library. So each school, each section created a theme for each library. Because the lighting level is so improved, they could sit there and read. So they've a breakout area and could use it for reading all their books. So it's really fantastic use of areas. They then even created an additional classroom. So now get 7 classrooms because of the improved lighting. They're actually shortlisted for the Ashton Awards, the most exciting low carbon school. So they've really done well in the school. That's the picture I was talking about. This is before. Now if you look at the wall lights, you can see how much light you're getting out of there. It's just so ridiculous a light. And on the desk in the middle of the floor, it was 180 lux. And it's been like that for 10 years. Now the architect thought it was a cracking idea to have a roof like this, and to use wall lights to light up the roof. But you can see how much light was going up to that roof. It just wasn't working. I've later found out he's done another 4 schools similar to that, so I need to phone those schools and change the lights for them. So the change and difference, that's the difference there. We suspended the panels from the ceiling. We only needed 6 panels. And the lux level went up to 330. You can see the big difference if you see the before and the after. In fact, the before picture, if you look at the overhead projector, the teacher didn't have to switch in the lights off to use it. She just put it straight on. So it's just hopeless at school. It's really bad. Okay, examples of poor lighting. This is a small cloakroom, and it's got 4 halogen lights in there. It's 280 watts of lights. Now, when I get into that cloakroom, I'm not the tallest guy, but my head burns when I stand in there. It is really hot in there. And that is on 24 hours a day, even though it has a sensor in the middle of the room. Because it's a cloakroom and there's corridor access either side, the lights are constantly on. They never go off. And on the floor, you see the light meter showing you 534 lux. Should only be 100 lux in that area. So it's 5 times too bright and too hot as well. So when I get in there, I have to wear a hat just to protect my head. Okay, another section. This is a cracking bright day. I was getting 2,000 lux on that floor, and the lights are on. It's just, and there's no one there. I sat there for an hour. I didn't really sit. I was kind of doing testing, and nobody turned up for an hour, and those lights stayed on. It's just such a waste of light. I mean, the lights at the end, really nice design. I like them, but they're on, and there's nobody there. They're right beside a really bright window, and it's just such a waste of energy. This one here, it's a hospital corridor. They thought it's a great idea to put the lights in the ceiling, so it just lights up the ceiling. As you can see, there's not much light on the floor. And when I went above the ceiling, because it's a curved ceiling, they had a 5-foot fluorescent tube bent to the shape of the curve. So when the lights failed, they had to smash the tubes to get the tubes out. That's how bad a design it was. So what happened was, when the light failed, they just left it because they didn't want to smash it. So they cut the hacksaw the bottom of the fitting to fit in the curve of the ceiling, and that's the effect. They thought it looked great, but there's no light. There's about 50 lux on that floor, so really, really awful design. Okay, examples of good design. Midway Hospital Clock Tower. What they had before was a 1,000-watt floodlight shining onto that clock face, and it continued away beyond it and lit up the houses behind it. So all these flats constantly had light on the houses all night. So they had to get blackout blinds. There was complaints constantly. And with it being a clock tower, it's 4 faces, so it's 4,000 watts of light shining on this clock tower all night. So I managed to, if you see the small little dots of light, that's an LED floodlight. It's the size of a double socket, and it's 36 watts. I put 2 there, 72 watts, replacing 1,000 watts. So you can see the savings you can get, and it's a daylight colour I use for it, and you can see all the colours, all the details on the clock. I think it looks really nice. I'm not saying it because I've done it, but it looks really nice. And it brings out all the details, and it doesn't go beyond the tower, it just lights up the clock face and no more. So you can get really good projects that look nice. This is the Churchill School, this is the staff room. Really nice bright colour. You can see all the colours coming out, even spread of light there. The teachers love it, they rush into school every day to go to the staff room, they really love it. Enbridge Council Chambers. This is a great example for old and new. If you look at the bottom of the picture, that's the old tungsten lights. You can see all the yellow, how yellow it is, and you can't see the photographs, you can't see the pictures on it. And at the top of the ceiling, you see the brand new LED lights going in, so you see how crisp and clean image you're getting there. And the green bit in the corner, we put LED changing colour chips right round the inside. I'll show you a better picture of that in a minute. And that's how it looks with all the lights changed. You can see all the pictures of the past chamber leaders all sitting in there. And you can see the colour of the carpet. The biggest 2 comments we get whenever we do an LD project, the customer loves it, it looks bright, they can see all the colours. The cleaners hate it because it shows up every speck of dust. So they have to vacuum twice. So they hate us when we do it. That's the colour changing, that's it in effect. See, it's a nice light purple there. We could do any colour you want, so whoever's in power, we could do red for Labour, blue for Conservatives, pink for anybody who wants it. We could do any colour you want, so we could do it. We could change each layer. So if you've got a country visiting, we could do a colour of their flag, fit that in for them. So thanks for listening. Okay.